Awesome. And share my screen. I hope you all can see my screen. Awesome. Great.
Yeah, looks good.
Presenter mode. Great. Great. Again, a warm welcome from my side. This is Gaurav speaking, joining in from Bangalore, also along with my colleagues Cecily, Birgit, and David from Germany. Yeah. And this is our November edition of SAP Garage. So if you are joining us for the first time, thank you so much and a warm welcome. But if you are a seasoned participant or the usual suspects, I would say, again, thanks for your support and keep, that coming in for the other upcoming episodes as well. So for the first timers, SAP Garage, the whole idea and motivation is to, bring out these use cases, that have been built using SAP BTP services. And the idea is to get the experts who have created these use cases and show how to implement it in real-time basis. As I said, joining me today are Birgit and David, who are the experts behind this use case, who have built this use case, and they would be talking about how to, perform those small steps that can help you to realize this solution in your landscapes. And then also thanks to you who have made SAP BTP Garage a huge success over the last years and months. So we really are thankful to you. Please let that support for the upcoming months and years as well, and share the series with your colleagues and counterparts as well. Today, the mission that is in focus is getting started with Build Code, leveraging Joule and the Gen AI capabilities. Joule and Gen AI, and in general, AI is making a lot of waves, lot of noise around us. And as I said, noise, it's not the right term, I just realized, but yeah, all for the good reason. So I thought, or we thought, bringing out this use case could be a real value add for you. Before we hand over to the experts, we also have the past recording. So if you are looking to, consume the resources that were showcased previously, we would also share you the links to those recordings, and you can refer them at later point in time. Just as Garage, we also have some in-person workshops, in our pursuit to enable you on the latest and greatest topics. So if you happen to be around these regions, we are also conducting some hands-on workshops on the topic of business AI. It's a 2 days hands-on workshop. So feel free to register yourself and, and learn from the experts. We would share all the links in few minutes over the chat. And with that, I would like to hand over to Birgit and David. Over to you, folks.
Right. Thank you for the intro, and let me then directly take over, introduce myself. So my name is Birgit Selbach. I'm working as a product manager for SAP Build Code team. With me, I have David, and David, perhaps you would like to quickly introduce yourself before then I jump into the presentation.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is David Bitzer. I'm currently a technology consultant at SAP in the area of Fiori mainly. And today I'm providing or presenting the demo about the mission itself. So that's coming later after Birgit has done the introduction. So I will see you later then. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, David. Right, then let me share my screen and then we can directly jump into the presentation. So you should now see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, then again, welcome from my side. We already heard this session is about our mission get started with SAP Build Code and Joule using generative AI. And I will first start with giving you a short introduction to what is SAP Build Code. And then David will guide us through the mission and give you a demo on that one. Right. Probably all of you are familiar with the SAP Business Technology Platform. With SAP BTP, you can extend and personalize SAP applications or integrate and connect entire landscapes. And to do so, SAP BTP combines services in the area of application development, automation, integration, data and analytics, and artificial intelligence. And today we focus on the area of application development, and we will see how we can do app development with the use of generative AI. Right, most of our customers probably use extensions as they want to further tailor the standard functionalities to their specific business processes and requirements. But when using extensions, we as SAP recommend to follow the so-called clean core approach. And this is a strategy where you extend your SAP S/4HANA systems, but your core system remains as standard and untouched as possible. And that brings several benefits to you. So reasons to keep your core clean are a clean core ensures rapid implementation of new processes and easy adaptation to business challenges. And by that, you get faster access to innovations. Also, as your core system stays as untouched as possible, it's pretty easy to upgrade to newer versions. The reduced complexity and improved performance lead to a lower total cost of ownership, and the clean core approach also strengthens your data security as it minimizes the surface area for potential vulnerabilities. You also get an improved performance, and finally, following the clean core approach, simplifies and streamlines your data structure, and by that reduces redundancy and improves the data quality. So, as said, we strongly recommend to follow this clean core approach. We have two options for clean core compliant extensions. You can either do on-stack or side-by-side extensibility. On-stack extensions run on your SAP S/4HANA cloud system as they are tightly coupled with the SAP S/4HANA data and transactions. And side-by-side extensions are done on SAP and they are only loosely coupled to your core system. And in reality, you will probably often use a combination of both to really fully cover all your needs. With SAP Build Code, we are here in the area of doing side-by-side extensibility on SAP BTP. Right. When you as a developer start to develop extensions, you will probably face many challenges and several questions will come up. Questions like, which front-end technology should I use, or which CI/CD tools are best suited for my specific case, or which logging monitoring tools are recommended in this case, and so on. And IDC did some research on that topic, and they found that professional developers usually spend less than 20% of their time in really developing applications. So question comes up, where do developers spend their time then, and what can we do to increase developer productivity? And IDC also focused on that topic, and they found that, as said, writing application code is only 20% of the time, roughly probably less than that of the developer's time. But they also spend quite some time in doing testing, implementing CI/CD, focusing on application and infrastructure performance management, taking care of security issues. And so the questions comes up, how can we increase developer productivity? And the first topic on this side is the topic that we deal with in today's demo. We can use generative AI-based code development to improve the productivity. We can also give expedited access to APIs. We can provide integrated CI/CD and security functionalities. We can take care of automating software development and deployment, and we can provide collaboration capabilities. And this is exactly where now SAP Build Code comes into the game. SAP Build Code offers you those capabilities mentioned before to increase the productivity of developers who are developing Clean Core compliant extensions. SAP Build Code is part of the so-called SAP Build family, and SAP Build provides you the flexibility that you need to create apps and extensions with low code, which is then SAP Build Apps, or Pro Code tooling, which is SAP Build Code. And SAP Build also allows you to automate processes and workflows with SAP Build Process Automation and to design digital workspaces with SAP Build Workzone. SAP Build uses our AI Copilot Joule for generative AI-based development, and it comes with many pre-built solutions which are maintained by SAP and also by our partners. And last but not least, it's really deeply integrated with many SAP business applications. So let's now have a closer look at SAP Build Code. Well, SAP Build Code provides you an environment where you can do your coding, testing, the integrations, and the whole application lifecycle management. And you will see later in our demo that you can easily build your extensions with the AI code generation using our Joule Copilot. You will see that you can provide natural language input, and Joule then generates for you the code. SAP Build Code also includes our SAP best practices, and by that simplifies your development process, and also gives you access to many guided experiences and pre-built templates. The solution is tailored for SAP development and comes with many pre-built integrations to SAP, but also to non-SAP systems. And SAP Build Code is built on SAP BTP and therefore benefits from many proven BTP capabilities, including trusted security. And it also supports the extensibility for SAP S/4HANA and other systems. And in addition, SAP Build Code provides you access to what we call fusion development. That means that you can easily collaborate with other professional developers and business experts. Let's take a look at some key use cases of SAP Build Code. Well, SAP Build Code is specifically designed to extend SAP solutions. And with SAP Build Code, developers can easily build and extend SAP Fiori and SAP UI5 applications and adapt the user interface of SAP Fiori Elements applications. For mobile development, SAP Build Code enables a high control environment where you as a developer can create, test, build, and deploy hybrid mobile applications. And when it comes to developing SAP HANA native applications, SAP Build Code provides you all the tools that you need to create SAP HANA application projects or to add SAP HANA database modules to your existing projects. And finally, SAP Build Code allows you to easily develop and extend multi-tenant SaaS applications. Right now, let's have a closer look at SAP Build Code itself. Development within SAP Build Code is done in the SAP Build Code development environment, which allows you to use textual editors and visual editors for developing your data models, services, and web and mobile apps. You have here all the tools that let you easily use all the app services that we need to develop extensions like the Cloud Application Programming Model, our UI development services, including SAP UI5, SAP Fiori Elements, and SAP Web Components. mobile services, and also document management. And you can also easily use all the runtime services, like, for example, CI/CD or authorization trust management, the destination service, and all the other runtime services. Right, and by that, SAP Build Code really provides you everything that you need to develop your Clean Core compliant extensions. But let's now have a look on the app development with generative AI that we focus on in our mission. And I think we all know that writing code can sometimes be hard, and that even experienced developers every once and then have to consult the documentation. And we, in those cases, offer you support with our AI assistant Joule, which helps you, for example, with the creation of all the necessary CDS files, defining all the entities of your data models, relations, service projections, and everything around that according to your prompt. You can generate business logic, sample data, unit tests, and most of this we will see in the demo that David will provide you. And with that, let's now come to the mission itself. Our mission is about generating a full stack application based on the SAP Cloud Application Programming Model. And we will do that by using our generative AI assistant Joule. And in the mission, you'll learn how to create the data model, services, sample data, and the app logic with the help of Joule. And you will also see how you can easily create the user interface with a wizard that guides you through this whole process. And by that, I will hand over to my colleague, David.
All right, thank you very much, Birgit. Then I'll take over. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right. Perfect, thanks. So let's dive right into the demo. Here you can see the mission overview, the project board here in particular, where you have the different tiles or steps you have to do to complete a mission. And in the demo itself, we will mainly focus on the developing part with Build Code, with Joule and the generative AI capabilities. But nonetheless, we have also the setup options that are available to set up SAP Build Code, and that are 3 for now. So we have the quick account setup, which provides a Terraform script that creates the sub account, the roles, the services, and all necessary to use SAP Build Code. So for the more technically advanced people, they can have a look at the Terraform script, they can adapt it even, and they can run the script or the quick account setup to, as the name suggests, quickly set up a SAP Build Code sub-account for an enterprise account in this case. And the other options we have is using the booster, which is quite a similar process. However, it is available for trial and enterprise accounts. So you can use the booster in the BTP global account itself to create a new sub-account with SAP Build Code inside, or for enterprise accounts, you also have the options to deploy to an existing sub-account. And with that, I won't go too much into detail for the setup because it may take some minutes to complete, but I can show you how it will look like in or where you can find it. So here is let me just go to my trial account. For this demo, I think the trial account is fits the needs pretty good, because with the trial account you are able to fulfill the mission itself, and it can be created quite quickly. So here in the trial account, global account, you have these boosters. There you can search for build code. There you have the build code booster, and you can have a look at it. What are the components of it? In this case, for the trial account, we have the SAP Build Code itself and the Business Application Studio, which is used for the development. And by that, we can click here on Start, and then it will automatically create us all the necessary roles, the services needed for running SAP Build Code and the Business Application Studio. That's pretty quick, and once it has been configured, you can go to your SAP account and take a look at the instances and subscriptions, and you can see that we have the application for SAP Build Code and SAP Business Application Studio as well, that are needed for our mission. And by that, let's jump into SAP Build Code, or let's say the SAP Build Lobby, which provides a central entry point to all SAP Build project types, which can be build process automation projects, build SAP Build apps projects, which are the low-code, no-code solution, SAP Build Code projects, and SAP Build work zone sites. So here you have the central entry point for that in SAP Build. And to create a full stack application for SAP Build Code, we just can, let me switch the language. Sorry for that. Yeah, so we can create a new project here inside the build lobby. There we have also the options for our use case for the SAP Build Code. We want to build an application inside SAP Build Code. And for our use case or the mission, we would use the full stack application type, because we want to generate a cloud application programming model backend, as well as some front end to that. And here you would normally type in your project name, and if you don't have like a dev space, if you're not familiar with that, that's dev space I also use in the Business Application Studio. Then it creates automatically a new dev space for you. If you have an existing one, you can just choose that and then create the application. I just did it because it also takes maybe 1 or 2 minutes to configure the project. And once it's up and running, we can go into it. So when we click on that, it will open the Business Application Studio. It might take some seconds to prepare everything. And by that, let me just jump back quickly to the project board. We are here at the main mission itself, or the main tile, which is the application development with Joule. So here I will show you now how you can use Joule to accelerate development of applications, in particular this full stack application. You can, in some minutes, you can create a full stack application, which you can then later on enhance furthermore. So for that, we have the storyboard of our, for now, empty full stack application. There you can see there's actually nothing in there. We have some basic structure for a full stack application in there, but no files whatsoever. So for that, the first step is we want to generate data entities and the services to that. So we want to focus on the backend in the first part, and then later on add the UI in the later steps. So for that, we can open Joule, like our Copilot Joule, and we have some already suggested slash commands here that provide help in creating, for example, a CAP application. Then I can, in this case, I will choose the generate a CAP application because it will serve as our backend. And I prepared a prompt that's also available in the mission. Let me just paste it here. Yeah, so that's a little bit longer prompt, but it's necessary because the more specific you are, or the more context you provide, also the better your response in most cases will be. So for that, our use case in the mission will be to design or implement a customer loyalty application. That's basically an application where customers can purchase products. And if they purchase products, they also get redemptions or redeem points for each purchase value they make on products. And they also can use the redeem points to for purposes to get a discount on other products in later stages. So for that, I have this prompt that's also available in the mission, where we want to define 4 data entities: customers, products, purchases, and redemptions. Then we also specified that what are the properties of the customer entity here, like name, email, customer number, and reward points and redeemed reward points. Also, we say what type the field should be, and then we go more into detail for the product entity, the purchase entity, and also for the redemptions entity. So we have 4 entities here, and in the last step, we declare that we want to, they need to be associated between each other, So, for example, each purchase and redemption will be associated to a customer. So they are linked to each other if a customer purchases anything. And by that, with that definition, just a couple of sentences, we can ask Joule to prepare us some schema and so some data model and services to that. So we can see Joule already provided the answer, and we can see it created 4 entities. We have the properties for the customer in there. We have the products, the purchases, etc. We have also the associations to that. The naming is also Joule also got the naming right with, for example, the selected product association. There we can also see like what are the actual files that are staged here. They are not accepted yet. So we have the schema CDS that provides the entities. Then we have the services that are exposed then. And it also created some annotations, quite some annotations. And I would say that looks good so far. So let's accept this one. And you can see there's something happening in the storyboard editor of the whole project. And yes, there are the data models, the 4 entities, and the services that are linked to that. That looks good so far. So the next step would be to provide some sample data so we can test it with like more meaningful data, let's say. And for that, I will just go to the customers entity here in the storyboard editor. I can say I want to add data. Yes, and here is the data editor. So we can just go to sample data and add like 5 rows of mock data or sample data. It also pre-filled it with some here strings and here integers, as you can see. But
David,
David,
sorry
short
to-
inter. Yeah, Ralph, go ahead. I think we had the same in mind.
Exactly.
It's okay.
David, if you quickly can,
it's perfect, but
change the color to white, the
theme color.
yep.
yeah, it's a bit hard to read that.
That better?
Perfect. Thank
Yep.
you. Perfect.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry for that. I hope you can see now better. I just reloaded the site. So let's wait a second. Okay. Let's go back in the data editor. As you can see, the data is still here. It's not so meaningful, so let's change that. And we can use this enhanced functionality here. So we can either use it directly in the data editor, or we also have like a cup edit data / comment that also does the same basically. Now it also pre-filled some data and the context we want to have. So for example, we want to change the customer data. And let me just get the snippet, the prompt snippet. Yeah, so this is also in the mission, the prompt for that. So let's go over the prompt quickly. First of all, we say that we want to enhance sample data with meaningful data. That's like the one of the most important things. So it already does some better naming to that. And besides that, we can also be more specific about that. So we say we want phone numbers to be 10 digits long, customer numbers should be 7 digits long, and that we want to also have the reward points a little bit more meaningful. Let's see. All right. So Joule provided already a new sample data for that. In this case, I will accept it and we can take a look at it. Here you can see that we have the already meaningful names in this case. We have like a customer number that is one that fits this one, and other customer numbers, total purchase value, reward points, etc. So we already have some meaningful data there. And this we can also use later when we show it in the front end or in the UI. And by that, let's go to the next step in the mission. That would be to add some custom logic. So whenever a purchase is made, I want to calculate the redeemed points and also add that to the customer. And by that, I can just add here some application logic. Go to the application logic editor. Say we want for the purchases logic, add some app logic here. Say we want to have it on the whenever a purchase is created in the database, we want to check to have like a custom logic also in taking place. For that, we have also this option to use this code editor that is using Joule to enhance this functionality. We can add application logic to there. So as you can see, we now have an empty application logic file that actually at the moment does nothing, but you can see it's already provided some prompt. We can add another prompt to that so we can have some application logic. Yes. So let me go through that. So the reward point of each purchase will be the 1/10 of the purchase value. So you get like 10% of the purchase value as like redeem points, and each purchase value will be then added to the customer to the customer. Also the same with the reward points, as we saw earlier in the sample data. And let's execute this one. Let's see. You can see that Joule uses the context here of the data entities of the purchase logic, etc. So we can see here already. Let me just make that a little bit bigger. That we have the logic suggested by Joule. We have some comments in there, like how the reward points are calculated, like that's like 10% of the purchase value. Then we have like that we wait for a customer data and check if there's like a customer present for that purchase. And also if the checks are successful, we will add that data to the customer's entity. I think that looks good so far. Of course, you should check that every time, because Joule in most cases provides different output sometimes, but then you can have also the option to regenerate the prompt until you are satisfied. Okay, that looks good. So we take that, and as a last step, we also add some application logic to the redemptions service, also for the creation. There also we want to add some logic in there. Let me just pick that menu. So we have the redemptions logic in here, and we say we provide also a prompt for that. In this case, we want to deduct the redemption amount from the customer's total reward points and add that to their total redeemed points whenever like a redemption is being made. And for that, wait some seconds. Joule is thinking, and then we also have some application logic as a response that also has some checks in it, like it ensures that the customer has enough reward points, and also it calculates the new reward points, etc. So this looks also good. So I will also take that over. And by that, we already have the data entities, we have the services, and we have some custom application logic to that, and also some meaningful sample data. This is all that has been done for this mission about the backend. And to show everything now, also with a UI on top, we can create a UI application. Say we want to show let's show the customers as an application. That can be done for every other entity as well. So for that, we add the UI. Select, in this case, we want to have a web application for that. Select the list report in this case, and what we have to do is select the main entity. We also can link to navigation properties, or to the purchases or redemption in this case. And we can also add some basic columns. So by that, with just a few clicks, we have the UI getting generated based on Fiori elements. As you can see, we have like one UI applications created for now. We can also create it for other entities as well. And we have to wait some seconds until all the dependencies are installed, and then we can take a look at it in the preview mode. Okay, it looks good. So let me review the application that we just created. So almost done. Yeah. Okay, so here we have the the project preview of our complete project. We can see, for example, in the customers, our data that is there as in JSON format. We can also see it in like a preview kind of applications for customers, but this is just, yeah, this also shows this also shows the information about all the sample data that we just provided. And we also have here our newly created UI application. Just go into that. Where we have our sample data, where we have customer number, etc. The formatting, okay, it's something that can be done in enhanced in the next step as a developer, but it already shows us a full application where you could also like add something. Add some purchase value. See if we can 10,000. We can already add something. It doesn't looks like there's something missing, but I would need to check that in the service itself. But it should be able to already also create data. It should be able to fulfill the application logic that we already created. And I think that's a pretty good starting point for developing applications. As you can see, we just took maybe 10 minutes to create like this kind of application. And then you can further enhance it with like adding other services, connecting to S4 system or something like that. And by that, this is the overview of the mission itself. So I just went through the complete mission here to give you an introduction what you can do with SAP Build Code and the generative AI capabilities. And by that, I think I'm finished with the demo, and we could